Hello, I'm Maxwell Rothbart, Doc History, and I'm standing here in King of Prussia, Pennsylvania, at the site of George Washington's encampment at Valley Forge. During the Revolutionary War, President Washington, well, then he was General Washington's troops, were really just not very effective. We had some good battles, some good fights against the British, but they were winning. And we were tired. And in the winter of 1777, at the winter between 1777 and 1778, it was really a crossroads for the Continental Army. We had gotten to a point where if we didn't survive the winter, we weren't going to survive the war. In fact, this was, for many soldiers, the last stand. If they didn't make it through these winter months, and these were cold winter months, they're going to leave, go back to their farms. They'd been away already for a number of years from their families, from their farms, which were suffering, and they needed to get back. Washington had to do something to keep his troops together, otherwise the entire war effort was going to just disband, dissipate into the air, and the British would have won. Well, they camped here at Valley Forge. And they were fortunate because they were joined by a Prussian general. Prussian is an old region of Germany, and they were joined by a Prussian general named General von Steuben. And von Steuben was very, very effective, and he knew how to train men, and he knew how to talk to men. He would, instead of being sort of on his high horse over here, directing what people should do, he was down in the trenches. There weren't actually trenches, it's just a figure of speech. He was down here though in the cabins, he was down in the fields, he was talking to the men and training them. Every single day they were being trained. So by the time the winter was over, in the spring of 1778, they were actually ready to fight, and they were feeling good about themselves. They were feeling, you know what, we can actually take on the British. We have the training now. We're no longer just farmers who have gotten together to fight against a powerful army. We ourselves are an army. And that was what was key here about Valley Forge. What was key is the ability of the Continental Army to come together as a fighting force, no longer a ragtag group of men. And General von Steuben had a lot to do with that. Washington was grateful to him, and von Steuben served throughout the war at Washington's side. And it was here that the real successes of the Continental Army against the British in the Revolutionary War began. For Doc History, I'm Maxwell Rothbart.